Who are you speaking with? The flesh and blood man with a name entity? Because that's what I'm trying to find out right now, Judge. Who are you speaking with? The name entity or the flesh and blood?
I'm speaking to the person that's talking to me right now.
I demand to be released on my own recognizance. Who are you trying to conversate with? The name entity or the flesh and blood man?
When I talk, you listen.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today's courtroom chaos is a 2-for-1 special. We're about to sit through not one, but 2 sovereign citizen meltdowns, and trust me, your brain might not survive both of them. The first defendant? Well, let's just say he doesn't want to be called a man, doesn't want to be called by his name, and honestly, doesn't even want to be called human. Nope. This guy insists he's some kind of entity. Yeah, you heard me right. An entity.
Hold on. Mr. Strickland, can you hear me?
This is the judge.
Okay, Mr. Strickland.
Open the door.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear
Oh,
him?
you don't want to hear me.
Sir, can you hear him?
What?
Mr. Strickland, this is Magistrate William Burden. Good morning. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do you want to speak with an attorney?
Who are you speaking with? The flesh and blood man with a name entity? Because that's what I'm trying to find out right now, Judge. Who are you speaking with? The name entity or the flesh and blood?
I'm speaking to the person that's talking to me right now.
I am executive of the name entity. That's who you're talking to right now. Do you understand? I am the executor of the name entity. I demand to be released on my own recognizance. I have right here, Judge. You see this, Judge? And then I also have a UCC1 in the name entity. So y'all trying to run a lien on the name, that's illegal. Who are you trying to conversate with? The name entity or the flesh and blood man?
You tell
I demand
me.
to be released on my own recognizance. I have a UCC1 here. I've laid claim to the name entity through the Secretary of State and the federal government. Here it is right here, the Secretary of State, Jocelyn.
Okay. Sir?
It's right here, Lincoln. To the flesh and blood man or the name entity.
Sir, whether I'm talking to the flesh and blood or name entity, I'm talking to both of y'all at the same time. Do either of you want to speak to an attorney?
No, sir.
Okay.
And I don't consent to an attorney. I don't consent to be in no hearing.
Sir, I just asked you one question. I just need one answer.
And I don't consent.
Okay, I know that.
So who are you speaking with? The flesh and blood man or the name entity?
I'm speaking to both of y'all. I'm speaking to both of y'all at the same time. How about that?
Entity. The judge could have asked for his name, and this guy would have said, "Who are you speaking with, the flesh and blood man or the entity attached to the name?" I'm not kidding. That's his opening line. Now here's the thing. Most of us, if we're in front of a judge, we'd at least try to keep it together, right? Not this guy. He goes all in on his fantasy legal theory, waving around papers like he's cracked some secret code. At one point, he literally declares, "I am the executive of the name entity." And
you can't.
Now, sir, I know you want me to release you.
Here it is.
Are you gonna let me talk?
Here.
Are you gonna let me talk? Sir?
Sir?
Are you gonna let me talk? I got some questions for you.
I'm here without consent.
Put the paperwork down, sir.
Don't consent to this.
I know you don't consent to this. You want the court to release you, is that correct?
Yeah.
Want to release you, the entity, or the person in the flesh? Which one?
Flesh and blood man. I own the entity, so it's going to be released anyway.
All right, now.
For UCC1, everything.
If you don't, when I talk, you listen.
I am.
If you don't want to talk to an attorney and you don't want to be arraigned today, we're going to put you over to tomorrow. You understand that?
So we already been through this. I am the executive of the account.
Okay. Have a good day, sir.
I demand to be released on my own recognizance. You could almost hear the judge thinking, what on earth am I listening to right now? And let me tell you, the judge, he had patience. More patience than I would have had. He tries to cut through the nonsense. Mr. Strickland, do you want an attorney, yes or no? But instead of answering, this guy doubles down. He starts rambling about UCC filings and lien.
Ms. Phillips, please state your name.
Shannon Phillips, the natural woman. On the
Okay,
record and for the record, and let the record reflect. Can you guys hear me?
Very
It's saying I
loudly.
have an unstable connection. Okay. Just making sure.
So on October 9th, defendant was found in contempt of court. So that still stands. Ma'am, you can choose not to have counsel if you want, but you need to understand that you can get up to 90 days on the contempt of court matter. Do you understand that?
I do not understand any charges. I only understand universal law and the right to live in peace and to live as I intend to.
But given that she doesn't understand.
Was never let in, just like now. You administering the trust without consent?
I'm not going to be.
I'm having a bad connection. It's going in and out.
I'm
I'm
not
not hearing nothing you all
the
are
public
saying.
defender's office from this case because I don't think she fully understands the consequences of her actions, and so she will continue to have the public defender.
I don't need a public defender, Judge Washington.
Ma'am, I asked you a simple question and you did not answer the question in a way that makes me feel comfortable that you don't understand that you understand the laws of the state.
You all are speaking legalese. You all are speaking legalese. For me to say I understand the charges gives you all permission to administer the trust.
Okay.
I don't understand the charges.
Which is why you will not.
And I do not need counsel. I don't need representation.
Your request is denied, ma'am. You will have representation. All right. Mr. Lebo, do you know what your client wants to do?
Oh my goodness. This is
the charges.
You cannot make me have an attorney.
Well, actually I can, ma'am.
Like, this is insane.
Well, I don't think it's me that's being insane.
I see. As if flashing a paper from the Secretary of State is going to magically erase his charges. The judge finally snaps a little and says, I'm speaking to both the flesh and blood man and the entity at the same time. How about that? I mean, chef's kiss. Absolutely brilliant comeback. But of course, the defendant still refuses to listen, still demands to walk free, and still talks over the judge like it's his courtroom. And this is the part where Zoom court just makes everything worse. Instead of a gavel banging and bailiffs.
I can handle my own affairs. I don't need your public defender. All I'm trying to do is get the case settled. That's all. This has been going on for so long. A waste of time and money, honestly.
Mr. Barnett, is there an offer?
There is an offer for the civil infraction and expired plate.
Your Honor, I'd be happy to go into a break-in with Ms. Phillips and explain that to her.
Right. I will let you do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Assistant Public Defender Davi Liebe on behalf of Ms. Phillips. Ms. Phillips, could you unmute and state your name, ma'am?
Shannon Phillips, the natural woman.
Lebo, where are we with this, please?
Your Honor, I did have a discussion with Ms. Phillips. I did attempt to explain the importance of representation, why the court has asked that she have an attorney in this matter, as well as conveyed Mr. Barnett's offer. Ms. Phillips indicated to me that she still opposes having an attorney, additionally indicated to me that she is not, at this time, wanting to accept the offer of an expired plate.
Well, I think the offer was for a civil infraction of something different.
I believe was the civil plate infraction.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
It's improper plate.
What was the offer again, Mr. Barnett?
It was the civil infraction of having an expired plate.
All right, thank you. And not the criminal, not the
Correct.
criminal infraction. Okay. So, Ms. Phillips, that's correct. You're rejecting that offer.
The offer of what? He didn't offer anything.
Ms. Phillips, he just told you that he's offering.
Am I not hearing something?
He just told you that he's offering you the civil infraction of expired plate as opposed to the criminal offense of expired plate. One carries
Okay, but according to the Supreme Court, traffic infractions are not a crime. The People versus Battle. So what criminal infraction? And I would just like for the case to be dismissed. One, because your who was it, Officer Hannah, and 3 more officers were surrounding my vehicle, pulling my door handles, threatening to pull me out of my vehicle.
Ms. Phillips, I'm going to advise
I don't
you
even
not
have the
discuss this
vehicle
further.
anymore.
Stepping in, all we get is awkward yelling over bad Wi-Fi. Seriously, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Zoom might be fine for work meetings, but for court, forget it. It's a circus. In the end, the judge just pushes the whole thing off until tomorrow, probably praying the guy will either come back to reality or at least show up with an actual lawyer. But oh, don't think we're done. If you thought that was bad, wait until you meet the next sovereign citizen. Because while this guy was obsessed with being called an entity, the next one decides to play the classic "I don't understand the law" card, as if
back in.
Ms. Phillips, I'll take that as a rejection of the offer.
Okay, so what's the offer? I didn't tell him anything.
Mr. Lebo?
Right, y'all just hate to hear the truth. Y'all just want to do what y'all want to do.
Ma'am, if you don't stop yelling out in court, you've already been held in contempt before. I'm going to hold you in contempt and give you 10 days in jail. Do you understand? Mr. Lebo, do you know what your client would want to do?
I do not, Your Honor. I did have a discussion with her, but she did not convey to me a desire to participate in that conversation.
All right. Then if she's not telling you, I will set it for a trial date.
Ms. Phillips, Your Honor, I would perhaps ask the court to consider a competency referral.
Nothing is wrong with me, you all. I am perfectly fine. I can handle my own affairs. Nothing is wrong with me.
I see you're doing so well so far. You're almost going to jail on a traffic offense.
And I do want to know that I did attempt to explain to Ms. Phillips why her understanding of the case law regarding traffic offenses was inaccurate, but that was not a productive conversation.
I could see why it wasn't productive. So I don't know that she meets the level of incompetence to the standard that you're indicating. That if you want a referral, because you've talked to her and that's where you are, I will refer her for a competency. If she doesn't participate in that, then she'll be found in contempt or have to go to jail to get it done. So her behavior here today is obviously taking her down a very dark path. Hopefully she can change her mind and do something appropriate. So you either want to have a trial, ma'am, or you want to actually accept an offer. So those are your options.
We could take it to trial. We could take it to trial. We could take it to trial.
pretending to be confused is some kind of get-out-of-jail-free ticket. And let me tell you, she doesn't just argue, she performs. So let's move on to round 2. Enter Ms. Shannon Phillips, and she is ready for her starring role in Sovereign Citizen Theater. The judge asks her a very simple question. Do you understand that you could get up to 90 days in jail for contempt? Now, a normal person might just say, yes, Your Honor, but not Shannon. Nope. She launches into this grand speech about universal law, living in peace, and how she only answers to natural law. It's like watching somebody try to out-argue gravity. It's not going to work, but they're going to fight the whole way down. The judge, staying calm, reminds her, ma'am, you will still have an attorney whether you like it or not. And what does she do? She interrupts. She shouts. She argues that having an attorney is administering the trust without her consent. Folks, I've watched a lot of sovereign citizen hearings, but this one's a masterclass in self-sabotage. Now here's the kicker. She's not even in trouble for something major. This all started over a simple expired plate. A $175 ticket. That's it. But instead of just paying it and moving on, She's dragged herself into a circus act that could end with jail time, and it gets worse. She actually starts giving away details about her case, telling the court how officers surrounded her car and tried to pull her out. She doesn't even realize she's handing the prosecution ammunition if this thing goes to trial. Her attorney, well, the one she doesn't want, is practically waving red flags saying, "Your Honor, she desperately needs representation." But nope, Shannon insists she can handle her own affairs. And what does that look like? Yelling at the judge, rejecting, deals that would have kept her out of trouble and pushing herself closer and closer to a trial. And trust me, if this goes to a jury, she doesn't stand a chance. The second she starts with the "I don't understand your laws" routine, they'll check out and hand down a guilty verdict without blinking. At one point, the judge warns her, "If you keep yelling, I'll hold you in contempt and give you 10 days in jail." And how does she respond? More arguing, more interruptions. It's like she's allergic to common sense. By the end, the judge practically throws up his hands. He sets the case for trial, probably knowing exactly how that's going to end. And here's the sad part. She could have avoided all of this with a signature on a check. But instead, she's gambling with jail time just to make a point no one in that courtroom is buying. Folks, sovereign citizens always think they're winning. Some invisible battle, but in reality, they're just digging their own graves, one argument at a time. And in Shannon's case, well, I think the only question left is, how fast is that jury going to shut her down? So what do you think? Would you ever risk jail time over a traffic ticket just to make some kind of statement? Or do you think these sovereign citizens are just addicted to chaos? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see how Shannon's jury trial plays out, stick around. I'll be covering that disaster when it happens. Because if today was any indication, that trial is going to be a complete train wreck.